Hi guys, this is Radiadas TV, my hustle. My name is Francisca Ndinda. On today's episode, we are going to focus on menstrual hygiene and its impact on girls in urban low-income communities and Kenya rural areas. So thank you so much for coming today.
Karibu, asante.
Yeah, so tell us now, who is Judith Bwire?
Judith Bwire is an artist. Judith Bwire is a dance choreographer, a musician, and now I work with young girls and young mothers.
So can you tell us more about your organization?
Judith Bwire Foundation started because I said I'm an artist and I'm a mother. So I said, okay, let me use my talent to reach young girls, especially in the rural areas, so that I can use my talent to empower them, because you see they are very young talent. There are so many girls who have never realized their potentials. So I said, as an artist, I can use my talent to reach girls, get to know their problems. Yeah, that's how the Judith Bwire Foundation started. So we sat down as a team and decided to specific work on menstrual hygiene and reproductive health, and also empowering girls. Yeah.
Nice. So, if I may ask, how old are the girls?
Mostly we work with girls from 9 to 35, and most of the other girls are maybe young mothers. Yeah, young mothers, because utapata maybe from 15, 16, 17, most of them have become mothers. Yeah, so those are the girls that we reach.
Nice. And so, in terms of empowerment, so how are you able to empower them? So, what kind of skills do you give to them?
Mostly we do research on the area where they are, so we get to identify their problem and what they can do. You know, different places have different things to do.
Yeah.
So mostly we do research, then we reach, then we empower, depending on where and what is what is what is needed and what can be done in that place. So we don't just say this is what we do, because you see, like maybe let me give an example of Budalangi. When you go to Budalangi, you meet girls, and you can't just say, okay, nataka mwanze kudance. You see,
Yeah.
the environment doesn't allow that. So you look on what can be done in that area. So that's why we normally do research and get to know what can be done, because you can reach girls, you talk to them, then ukiwaacha tu hivyo, there's nothing you've done. At least give them skills, 2 or 3 can change. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice. So, in terms of menstrual hygiene, so do you think menstrual hygiene is an issue that fails to receive proper attention according to you?
Yeah, yeah, it needs to get proper attention, kwa sababu most of the girls don't have knowledge. They don't have knowledge, they don't have information, they don't have material and facilities. So I think much has to be done, kwa sababu here in Nairobi, somehow you see we have many organization in Nairobi. So girls, most, yeah, I will not say all of them, but at least they are reached. But you see, like places like Pokot, where organization don't go. Again, there this problem of taboo where you cannot even allow to talk to girls. So I think much has to be done, so that the girls can get knowledge, information on menstrual health, and also the materials, because now watoto hata hawajaiona sanitary pads. They've never even seen it. So you can imagine that girl, if she has never seen a sanitary pad and maybe she's 20, you can imagine if she has information or knowledge about the menstrual. So much has to be done.
So let me just ask before I go to the next question. So, which kind of counties do you deal with?
Our organization deal with Nairobi.
Okay.
We have Nairobi, we have Kwale, then we have Trans Nzoia, we have Busia. There are 5, yeah.
Because I know it's really hard when now you as an organization you go to a new area. how are you able to advocate about menstrual hygiene, like so that people may come and embrace the education and also empowerment?
That's why I was telling you, because before we reach, we normally do research. So we get someone on the ground to mobilize,
Okay.
before we go. So by the time we go, we already ready, because there's mobilization that has already been done, and we know what type of girls we are dealing with and what are the challenges. Yeah, what are the challenges?
Ah, nice. So, as a founder of an organization, so do you think that girls and women have been educated enough about menstrual cycle and women's health?
No. In some area, yes, but in some area, no, because there are areas that have not been touched. Because let's say the last time we were in Tanzania and we went those side of Pokot, and you give a child, a sanitary towel and tell her to demonstrate. He knows nothing. She knows nothing. So we believe that it's a normal thing. It's just menstruation. So we want to believe that each and every girl knows about it, but there are girls who just know that there's period, because there's a place we went and you see there is this girl who won't go to school for 5 days, for 3 days, and because when she's attending she has to sit somewhere for 5 days, nothing, hata hiyo mattress hakuna, hata hiyo kitambaa yenye maybe you can fold and use it, you see. So I think much has to be done, kwa sababu there are so many girls who don't go to school because of sanitary pads. There are so many girls who don't go to school because of stigma, yeah. And you know, when you cannot maintain your menstrual, it means that also you are how do you say it, you are nini yako inaenda chini, your esteem goes down. So yeah, so I think much has to be done, because it is the reason also girls are dropping out of schools, because you can't go to school when you don't have anything to use when you're on your monthly period. Yeah, I think also organization need to go out of Nairobi. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let me just ask, so because you're dealing with girls about menstrual hygiene, do you also talk to their parent about how they should talk to their children even if they start?
Yes, because there are places when, for example, when you work with young mothers, you need to involve their parents.
Okay.
So that they can encourage them. It doesn't mean that when they've given birth at the early age, that's the end of it. Because you know, kuna parents, mtoto akishapata mimba, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Wejipa, wipange. So it's easier not to talk to the girl, you talk to the parent, kwa sababu bado ni mtoto. So maybe sometimes parents believe that when ukishazaa wejisort, you understand? Yeah. So we normally involve parents or guardians. Yeah.
Nice. So let me ask, do you think the unavailability of sanitary pads has caused women and girls to engage in risky sexual?
True. It is a very big problem, because like Busia, I'll talk about Busia. We went to Busia and we had an outreach at the Port Victoria. So there was a mobilization that was done, and we talked about menstrual hygiene. And you know what the girls were telling us? They said, harakisheni, tunataka kwenda kuuza omena. And you know what is omena?
Yeah.
So you can imagine hiyo omena, kwa sababu this girl is telling you, harakisha, matime zangu za kuuza omena zimefika. So it's like they're exchanging sex with everything, not even sanitary pad, you see. So they need to be empowered, they need to be given skills. In fact, not in Nairobi, but there are so many places that have not been reached, and girls are so affected.
Okay. So what do you, just a question, what do you think, why do most of organization does not reach to the, so
The biggest problem is fundings, because if you don't have fundings, you can't go far. Yeah, I think the biggest problem is funding, and Also organization want to stay in a comfort zone. You see, they want to stay where they can do things haraka, they don't want to go deeper, because you can imagine from here to Pokot ama to Kana vitu kaa hizo. It needs a lot, yeah.
Exactly. So let me ask, what intervention do you think should be undertaken either by the government or any NGOs or private?
For me, I think there are so many things that are free. And women should be proud of their menses, and the government can help them be proud of their menses. They can put banks, you see, sanitary banks, sanitary ATMs, you understand? Because if we go to school, if they manage to do free education, they can also give sanitary pads for free. Because that's something the government can manage in schools, in colleges.
That's really nice. So you talked about you being a musician too. So how do you jungle being a musician and founder of an organization?
Obvious, there's always time for music and time for, because mostly we plan we normally have a calendar for the organization. Yes, for the music no, but for the organization we normally have a calendar. So we always look we normally check our calendar, see where I'm supposed to go for rehearsal, where I have a performance, and where we need to do an outreach. So we normally plan a calendar, maybe 3-4 months. That's what we work with. But most of the time I also feel good when I'm on the ground. That's the time also I give out my talent, because I always play music with them, we dance, so it's not a problem. Yeah.
Nice. So are there any challenges you face as a musician and also a person that has on an organization?
Yeah. Because you see, as a musician, yes, you perform to get money. And sometimes when you want to reach, like, there's a case that you want, it really needs to be approached, yeah. So you see, I have to use, sometimes, like now we don't have fundings, but the foundation still is running. So you see, you have to go back to your pocket and solve that issue. I think that's the biggest challenge, funding.
Or funding? Yeah, because I know now during this time of election, like we have a lot of tension everywhere. So let me just ask, what kind of advice would you like to give to any person that wants to open either CBO or an organization?
For now, about
An advice, like,
Advice for-
yeah, when they want to deal with some issues, maybe it's menstrual hygiene, maybe it's women empowerment, maybe it's about disability. So what advice can you give to them when they want to start like an organization?
for newcomers,
Yes.
or for those who already have an organization.
Either, it can be either, just a general advice.
I think I would say, like, for menstrual health, people need to go far. Let's not all be in a central place like Nairobi. We need to go far so that we can reach so many people, because you can see, like, Nairobi, how many organizations dealing with menstrual health. It's a lot. And when you go out, even here in Kiambu, you might not find one. So I think we need to go far. We should not stay in one place, all of us, so that we can reach many people.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming. I know you're a busy person, but thanks for creating time.
Thank you too for bringing me in.
Anytime,
Asante.
any day. Yes, guys, you have heard from Judith Bwire, and I hope you have learned one or two things. So please make sure to go to our comment section in case you have any question for her. Also, we'll have her number on our social media account. So make sure you go to all our social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn at Radiators Foundation. See you on the next episode of My Hustle. I've been your host, Francis Kandinda. Bye.